Welcome back to the Coach's Four Quarters radio show. I'm your host, Coach Joseph Lee Jr. And now I have a young man with me that I've been knowing for a good while. Me and him has been very, very close. He is one of my good friends, but yet a great teacher of young men. And I also want to give you a little tip. When you think that all of you young men out there that play John Madden, I want to bring this man on because this man, when you think you're playing with Richard Sherman and you think you're playing with Phillip Rivers or someone like that, you're playing with this young man. This young man's name is Kenny Bell, but he's also known as the Madden Man. So now I want to bring Kenny on, and I'm going to say a big, how you doing, Kenny?
What up, Coach Lee? How you doing, brother?
Well, young man, how are you, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I have no complaints. No, all praises to the Most High. Honestly, bro, to be perfectly honest, this is the best time to do what you're doing because nobody's have enough time to run around and do all that other stuff. You have to sit at home and listen and get the keys to life and the keys to football. I really appreciate you taking this time out and doing what you're doing, man, and giving us something to do while sports is on hold right now and giving knowledge, in between the yardage,
You are one of the first young men that I thought about. And, my wife said, well, what about Kenny? And I said, well, I love it. I want Kenny on it, but Kenny might not call me back. And she said,
man, you crazy, man.
And she said, call Kenny. And when she said it, I said, let me get on this phone and call Kenny Bell. Because Kenny Bell is one of the most influential players that you may know because everybody plays Madden. Everybody plays Madden.
Everybody.
That's right.
Everybody.
Now, Kenny, I want to ask you a question.
What's up?
What's important about sports and life with you?
Well, one thing that I've known about sports, and this is another key thing, a lot of children are playing sports at young ages, which is fine. I didn't start playing organized football until I was 13, and I was in a situation where I had to find some friends, and the only way was to get on the football team. Pretty much, I was living in a new neighborhood. I couldn't get really well accepted by the children in the neighborhood, so my dad signed me up on the football team. And needless to say, yeah, I was nervous. You hear all the tragic stories, but I played tackle football, throw up tackle on the street, back how you play back in the day and all that. So I knew I was tough enough, So once I got on the team, man, I felt a camaraderie that it's really hard to explain. It's almost like a group you have to be in to understand what I'm talking about. Like the sports world is really a private camaraderie industry, because if it weren't for sports, a lot of people wouldn't know each other. Honestly, I probably wouldn't know you, Coach Lee, if it wasn't for sports. A lot of guys would be and gals would be locked up in prison if it wasn't for sports. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, that's one of the things that you can really get blood, sweat, and tears and emotions and psychological warfare figured out. That's why I think sports and life, you can't beat it. You have to have endurance, right? For sports, right? You have to count your keys, right? Just like in life, you have to know when that bill is getting over your head. You have to know when you're spending too much money. You have to know when your child's getting sick. You have to know when to make certain moves. You have to know what neighborhoods to move in. Mm-hmm. You have to know the keys of life. Those are all involved with football.
Well, a lot of people, as we're saying right now, a lot of people didn't know until now that the Madden games that they play, a lot of times they don't use the real players. They use motion capture players like yourself. Now, can you tell me, when did you start doing that? How did you get into it, and when did you start doing that? Because when I first heard that you was doing it, I was like, what? Oh, no, I was excited. You remember, I just blew up. So
I do remember.
I try and tell people, and bring you on because I want people to know that, this is a great thing that you're doing inside of the game.
Amen. Amen. Well, let me elaborate on that. I got into it basically. I was one of those guys in college. You know, I went to Cerritos College. I went to Gar High School, Cerritos College, and then I transferred to Hofstra University. And I had a great career. And up until I got into, and when I transferred to Hofstra, I started having injuries and setbacks as far as eligibility with transferring from a JUCO to a university. Sometimes the classes don't transfer over, and you have to change a major and all that stuff. You know, so needless to say, I was the guy that slipped through the cracks. You know, I went through all the political ins and outs of the stories that you hear. You know, what kept me off the field was political reasons and reasons that only the NCAA knows about. You know, but I had to endure. I had to endure. I was still one of the starter guys every year. I was always number one on the team, but I just have to go through the juggernaut of life in sports in college football. You know, so what happened after that, when I was done with that, I still was hungry to play, of course. I didn't get a chance to get my rocks off, if you will. And I got a call from a guy that used to coach me back in the day at Gar High School. And he had a company called Motion Management. And once he figured out that I didn't get drafted, because a lot of people thought I would get drafted despite all the ups and downs I had to go through. It didn't happen, you know. So of course, like any other athlete, I'm looking for the next move. You know, I was pursuing to still get on NFL teams and stuff like that, you know. But at the same time as doing all that good stuff, instead of getting caught up in the political warfare, the Lord blessed me with the opportunity to do Madden, Madden and NCAA. And before Madden even came on the platform EA Sports, I was doing out here in San Diego, doing stuff for Game Day, Sony Game Day, 989 Sports.
That's right, I remember.
Yeah, I was doing commercials for redoing the Avis thing for video games. I did all the cell phone video games, all the stuff for Midway Blitz, all that stuff. I was the show, MLB The Show, the lead. You know, then EA came in 2004 to be exact, you know, and I was just coming off of doing what is it? Midway made the game. It's one of the games where they break bones and all that good stuff. We're doing that, and I was only getting like $800 for that. You know, these crazy hit stuff that
and that's
probably
what I was going to ask you. And
yeah.
I was going to ask you that. How do you go about taking all those different hits like that and still, you know, come out of it and everything and survive? How do you do that?
Man, to be honest with you, Coach, I was listening to the interview you had with the coach beforehand, and you guys made a couple good points. You know, it's really about your health and how you take care of your body. You know, I've taken with just not only just EA and the other football video games and the cell phone games and the commercials and the TV shows and the movies, I've taken over 10,000 hits in all type of different directions. And with EA, you got to remember, you're going to win. And for every win, you have to have a lose. So when you're playing the game, those excruciating hits are really bone jarring, and they really are like that in the studio. I've taken every one, been flipped, corkscrewed.
A lot of people don't know that.
I've done it.
And this is the good point you're bringing up. A lot of people don't know that. They think that you just do that, you know, and there it is. But you do get hit. And
there's no green screen. No, it's 100% real. And when I first started, the thing about technology, you have to grow with technology. So our moves were like 20 to 30 yards away. So we had to do freelance everything. Some were choreographed, some were not. So I started basically in the stone age of doing full-on motion capture with the new technology that was coming. So when I put it like this, when I started with EA, there were 64 cameras, infrared cameras. Now there's 215 infrared cameras. Those infrared cameras cost lots of money. And so now what happens, we can condense the scenes and make it a lot easier and safer for the athletes. But when I started, all the Randy Moss stuff, all the TO stuff, all
That's
the
what I was going to ask you. Tell me some of the young people that
all those TO, Randy Moss, Barry Sanders, Herschel Walker, Walter Payton. Let's go to the new school. Warwick Dunn. That's like the 90s. I've done every single hot athlete that you've seen.
And you've done some lately, haven't you? Some of the
yes, I have.
tell our listeners some of the players you've done here lately.
Oh man, you got Odell Beckham. All the slot receivers, all the all-star receivers. It's the thing about EA Sports and technology. There are still moves that I did in 2004 that they're still using now. There's moves that I did in 2006 that they haven't even implemented into the game yet. I've done things move so fast for the camera that they had to recreate the camera calibration for how fast that I
Well,
move.
you know, I
I've been
also
blessed with
know
that.
from my experience with you as your buddy, I also know that you train and you train
Yes,
hard. Can you tell me
yes.
why you train?
I train because I can. I train because I'm blessed to do it. I train because I can't. I personally, it's nothing against any other coach out there. I have to know what to do before I tell someone how to do it. I have to know how to do it first. I have to go through it first. You know, when I'm 60 years old, I probably won't have the speed that I have now, but I'll still have the technical ability. So I still have to know how to do what I'm teaching. So that's one thing for me. You know, and honestly, man, the Lord still kept that burning sensation for me to be a competitor, bro. To this
I
day,
understand.
I
Yes,
still run
sir.
a 4.39, 4.41, and all that good stuff. You know, it's just
You
in me,
know,
man.
you have been an inspiration to me since we first met. Because, you know, I come to your house and we just sit and talk. You were one of the ones that sat down with me over at Orange Glen High School and siphoned out my key system. So we got my
Man,
numbers down to the point where it's right on the money, and which it is the key system God sent, and which we
yep.
know. But who is your inspiration, my good buddy?
Man, my inspiration, honestly, is the Lord. You know, it's the Mashiach. You know, a lot of people call him Jesus. I call him Yahweh Shai. That's my motivation. Anybody that would die for a multitude of people, man. Anybody that would do that, got to be an inspiration, and to leave tracks behind to show you how to live in the world like that. That got to be an inspiration, man. That's the only correct order. The only reason why we're having this conversation, Coach Lee, and you got that beautiful beard that I'm seeing, brother, is
Thank you.
because the Lord had put us on this path, man. So that has been my inspiration. Look, bro, honestly, I done been through the worst things in this sport. And the only way I got through this is by the faith and the power of the Most High.
All
That's it.
right. All
There's
right.
no way around it, brother.
Hey, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
Straight
you.
up.
Now, we're going to put it on you right now. I
Put it
know,
on me, baby.
I know that you train wide receivers. I
Right.
know that. And you are a great teacher. I call you not a trainer, but what do I call you? A teacher. Whenever you
Amen.
hear me talk to you, I call you a teacher because you are. Now, I want you to tell my listeners about how you train wide receivers. How do you get their mindset? How do you get them to run the complete route? How do you get them to deal with the adversity of the defense?
Oh man, I'm glad you said that. Just like you said in the beginning, it's a teaching mechanism. Everybody can go and run fast and look like an athlete through some drills, especially through the naked eye person that really don't know the ins and outs of sports. But when you first off, before anything, you have to know how to run and know that everything is connected. Your right hand controls your left foot, and vice versa. Your right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, and vice versa. Those are things that you have to know first so you can connect everything. You have to remember the moment you bend your arm in the L, you become 90 degrees. That's 90 on one, 90 on the other. 90 to the leg, 90 to the other leg. That equals 360, which meets in the middle of the core. Before you can do anything, you have to know your body. That's the biggest thing, and how to breathe and relax. That's why I fell in love with you, Coach, on the football side, because the key system, it teaches you how to breathe and relax and play within yourself and within your defense or your offense. You taught me that linebacker sitting out there is your own responsibility. Coming up, they always talk, oh, watch the safety, watch this guy, watch this guy. That outside backer is the main thing. But the only way to know, you have to know how everything is connected, and it starts with you. If you're in control of your body, if you have full body control, you will control the man in front of you. It's just like boxing, baby. It's connected to everything. You know,
Yes.
that's my method. You have to be able to get in and out of routes, and you
So
can't get you. You can't
So
allow
when a,
yourself.
so when a young man, because I know that you train your high school players, and I know
High
that you
school,
train
college, all that.
players in college, and I know you even have NFL players. But just imagine now you get a young player that comes
Oh,
out to you. He may be 9 or 10, 8 or 9 years old. Now, how do you sit down with him or get him on the field and get him to understand the route, to understand the things that you want him to understand? Because I've seen you do it, and it's a beautiful thing, and my listeners want to know.
man, I'm gonna tell you right now. Just like I said, the thing about children are visual learners. So you can talk them to death, but their attention is only gonna last 15 seconds at a time. You know what I mean? They like cartoons, and nowadays they like everything on the internet. So you have to literally be a moving object for them. So
All
I
right.
go out there and I literally show them physically how to do it. And then I create metaphors so they can remember. I give them homework so they can take home with them. I give their parents homework so they can always keep reiteration. You remember, sports is reiteration, and it's also repetition in your mind. Repetition is the father of genius. So
Huh.
if we keep doing those things in our mind, because we always say, what? It's mental. Go home and see it in your mind. Then your body will come and repeat. That's
Well,
how
I
I deal with the
also
children.
Well, I also know that you do other great things. I also know you do tournaments. I
Oh,
also know you
yes.
train bodybuilding. I
Oh,
also
yes.
know that you do all types of things,
Oh, yes.
that relates to football, but it's not football. I also know that you
Exactly.
work with a young man where you all always are doing something with your
Yep.
body and the whole shot, because I have seen you, and I
Yeah.
have seen you say, come on out here, coach, and whatever. I said, not today, baby
Yeah,
boy.
not today.
Not today. Not today, youngster. Not today. But I enjoy watching what you do. So I want you to explain to me about the bodybuilding part and some, because I've seen you push a cart up a hill.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen you do that. I've seen you lift weights. I've seen you do a lots of things that Coach Lee does not get into doing. But I love
Got you.
watching you do it. So explain to the listeners those type of things now that you come on the other side, because you're not only a football teacher, but you're doing other things also.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the thing is this, I had to learn, and I was not when I say I had to learn, remember everything is progressive. So I'm not learning from me. I'm learning to teach somebody else. I just happen to get the benefit of seeing it first. You know, the biggest thing about bodybuilding is what you putting in your body. You know, I don't eat meat. I do all vegetables as best as I can, unless it's a holy day. I'll eat lamb. But other than that, I'm mostly all vegetables. I drink a lot of water, a lot of sea moss, a lot of black seed oil, stuff like that. Those things will build you up. Like all you need really is the sun, black seed oil, and Irish sea moss, and everything will take care of itself. Because the body is about sustainability. It's sustainability. And if you're not doing that, you cannot sustain. I'm 40 years old, coach, and I can do this till the sun don't shine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Day in and day out. But it's how you build your body up, And for the young guys out there that's doing all the heavy lifting with the coaches, whether you're in high school, college, NFL, CFL, whatever it is you may be doing, it's not about that bench press, not about that long bar bench. You have to have the body balance. So you have to do individual lifts on each arm or each leg to balance out the strength and the power. That's how I'm able to do that. You look at guys like look at Walter Payton. I mean Herschel Walker. Look at him now. He trains with Georgia football team. He kills them every year. So it's what you put into intake of the fuel. Shoot, coach, since we met, you've been your octane changed a little bit, bro.
Oh, I've been doing my thing.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
eating
I
right.
noticed.
I've been eating
Yeah,
right. I've been taking my supplements. I've been getting my
yeah,
walks in. I ride the bicycle. I get on
yeah.
the treadmill, and I've grown my beard.
I can see it. You
Yes,
growing, brother.
sir.
You actually growing, bro. Real
Yes, sir.
talk.
I feel good at 70 years old,
As you should.
and I
As
really
you
do.
should.
Yes. Well, let me ask you this here. Now, when you came on, you was asked about and told about our share and compare program. Okay, and can I
Yeah.
ask you a little bit about it? How do you feel about it?
Man, actually, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think getting the stats from kids all over the world, man, and putting it into a database where it can be going forward and they can use that for recruiting purposes, bro. You can't beat that. And for all sports, you can't beat that. You know, like I meant to mention, I work with the company that I work with for EA Sports. The one I go through is Third and One. You probably can see it. It's a company called Third and One,
I see
ran
it.
by Mazio Royster,
I
who's
see it.
went to USC. He's a USC All-American. Went to the NFL. Now he does the stunt coordinating for EA Sports and Third and One. Now, with that being said, those share and compare programs can go to get guys like that. So when these kids come out, say they don't make it all the way to the top, they've been tracked by industries that need that type of talent, like the EA Sports, like the Hollywood industry, stunt work, commercial industry, stunt work. All that database, all it does is creates a file for things you can do in the future. You're sharing and comparing, and at the end of the day, you're comparing yourself to other players to get a scholarship somewhere. I think it's brilliant. You know, I work with another company out here in San Diego called Play Presents. Their IG handle is Play SD, and all we do is tournaments for kids, whether it be football, basketball, track, volleyball, baseball, every single thing. So it would be the ideal thing for companies like that.
That's lovely. That's lovely. And we will look into that. I'm pretty sure Danielle will do that because, you know, Danielle is a visionary. And, you know, without his vision, this project that I'm on, it would not be possible. So
you said he's a visionary, right?
He's a visionary. And
so look, without the vision, you just be ordinary. So that man is a visionary.
That's right. And he's a visionary. And, you know, I am humble and I appreciate it. But before I let you go, I want to let you know I love you. I am humble. I am so excited. I was excited at 6 o'clock this morning having you on this show.
Likewise.
And as you know, I called you 1,000 times to make sure that we had everything right because you and this, you know, are the man. And this week, I got a great lineup this week. All of my young people that's coming on, I love them all. They are great. So I appreciate you. I love you. We're going to talk. Say hi to my family for me because, you know, without your wife, I wouldn't be driving.
I got you.
Yes, sir,
I got you.
buddy. Yes, sir, because,
I got you.
Before I leave, you know, his wife went down to the DMV with me when I took the driving test. And I hadn't drove until I was 67 years old. And so she took the day off work and went down with me and took the driving test. And I love her for that. And that's why I say, without Raina, I wouldn't be driving.
Yeah, man. And you know, you're welcome, Coach. And honestly, bro, and this is all BS aside. You, brother, are an inspiration to all because I'm gonna tell you what, you never stop doing what you're doing. Everything you said you was gonna do, you've done it. Okay? I don't know what these players know about you, but I know one thing, you're a solid brother. And if they listen to you, they will get the keys to life. I'm dead serious. I mean, Coach, there's numerous amounts of players who I reference your key system to, and I send them your way. Period. You know what I mean? Because there's nobody else. And I really do hope the whole world hears this because these defenses in the NFL are horrible. All right? These linebackers, these running back, these DBs, they chasing everything all over the place. They do not know how to read their keys. So I really think they need to take a good hard look at the Coach Lee's key system. And I say that with emphasis because it is a game changer in football. It is a game changer. Defensive coordinators need to get in contact with Joesph Lee. I'm serious. This is straight from the Madden man. I know football.
Much, son. And I love you. Stay safe. And thank you for being on my show. I am humble. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye.